Wait for some people to get on. Yo, RV, there you guys are popping up in. Let a couple people get on. Recap of the Rick Walker show. How do you like them apples? You guys get the chat in here. The power went out at my shop again. Fuck, my arms look pretty big in here. Monsters. I got a picture of me and Lou Frigno standing next to each other, flexing. Who's the real Hulk? I don't have to make a Khalib. I'm not for the communism at all. But what I found interesting was the beginning of the show. The earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. I was watching a show, Redacted, the other day, I think 2 days ago. And they were warning, the U.S. embassies were warning Turkey, the people in Turkey, American citizens, to leave Turkey because of potential terrorist attacks. Now, I don't believe in coincidences at all, right? I just don't. And then they have an earthquake of this size 2 days later. Pretty fishy, if you ask me. You know, they more or less told the world that Turkey's going to have a terrorist attack soon, and then they have this big ass earthquake. I don't know, folks. I don't believe in conspiracy theories either. Coincidence? I don't believe in that one either. As for the Ukraine, they keep running it the way that they are with the war effort and dragging Poland into it. That'll be the end of the war, because Poland will look like the Ukraine too. And then move on to Germany. And who's next? Keep supporting it. You know, what do you expect at the end of the day? A government that's going to sit back and let their people get killed? I highly doubt that one. Russia's not going to let that happen. Ukraine's been fighting like this for forever. You don't support it? Me either. I'm just reading some of the comments here as they pop up. I don't support either. I think it's a big crock of shit, and everything that they've been telling us is nothing but lies, right? And you're going to drag good Canadians into a war where we don't want to be, you know. But like somebody called in the Rick show last night and said the war effort generates money. It always has since every war. Okay, the economic benefits of a war. I'm not into it. Nothing but lies. You got that right, Jamie. Nothing but lies. And when I see it, it just makes my stomach turn. You know, we haven't learned anything. And as when they're talking about Vietnam, let me tell you about Vietnamese history in Indochina, because I do know a little bit about that. I think it was 1947. The French tried ruling Indochina. And at the time, it wasn't Vietnam, it was Indochina. Well, the French got their asses handed to them, okay? And they wanted to use that in just after World War II. Then the Chinese came in from the north. They got their asses handed to them. So I think 1950s, the Chinese tried coming into Vietnam. They got their asses handed to them. Then the Americans, we all know about the Americans, 1967. Around that time, 66, they had American advisors already on the ground in Vietnam. Okay, and they got their asses handed to them too. By 1975, they were pulling out. The fall of Saigon. Ho Chi Minh, okay, and I've read a lot of books about Indochina, and I respect that guy, Ho Chi Minh. Well, you got a knife in my hand. Where's my ski mask? I respect that guy. I really do. Okay, he was looking out for his own people at all costs. Okay, he had the North Vietnamese army and the Viet Cong that were handing it to the Americans, right? But if you look at Vietnam now, that country was almost destroyed. They bombed the shit out of Hanoi, which is in the north, close to China, okay, and Saigon's in the south. And the fall of Saigon and all the little towns around it, Da Nang, all that crap, okay, were leveled. Leveled. Now, if you look at Vietnam today, just look it up on the internet what Vietnam looks like today. Prosperous. I work with Vietnamese guys that are deciding they're at the end of their rope here, working right in Canada, and the retirement's coming. They want to go home. They don't pay any tax, not like they do here. I think there's no tax on property tax for starters. Like you pay a tax on your consumer goods, and that's it. So Vietnamese is nothing like what they try to portray it like. It's actually more freer in Vietnam today than it is in North America, and that's no lie. Look it up. So, a little bit of Vietnamese history for you. How do you like them apples? I'm on my break, so you're gonna have to watch me eat my apples. But you guys get the chat here. You know, at the end of the day, I don't know what we have to do in Canada to get it right, but what we're doing now is just not working, right? It's not working at all. You know, you see the economy is starting to slow down here. Watch in 6 months. My job might be on the line. But good thing for me, see these puppies? This one here, the right hand, will send you to the emergency. This one here could put you in the morgue. Okay? I'm not worried. I'll go build a log cabin up north. Do what I got to do to survive if I have to go that route. And I got a few friends that are off the grid right now because of the COVID mandates. They lost their wife, lost their job, sold the house, split it with the wife. One guy, I'm not going to say his name on here because a lot of people know who he is, but he's living in North Bay. He bought 5 acres up there out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, in between, where would it be? North Bay and Kirkland Lake area. And he's living off the grid. And I don't blame him. He's got his own farm for his produce. He's got his chickens. He's got his cows. He's doing all right. I talked to him. He's got internet. Okay, I talked to him. He's off the grid on unorganized land where it's cheap tax, very cheap tax, and he's making it work, right? So I'm going to go up and visit him and check it out up there, right? Because he's doing it. I'm not working. Yeah, no, I'm on my lunch. Can't you tell? I'm eating an apple. I am working. So he's off the grid, and I'm thinking highly of going off the grid. My kids are all of age now. My youngest is 18 here this year, and he finishes school soon. And I don't know what I want to do. I'll leave my house. I'll leave the mall houses, and maybe sell my main house and move up north and build my own house. Because look at these puppies. At 52 years old, I got a lot of strength still. My back's good. I could walk for miles. I could talk for days. So I could get things done up there, up north. But I wouldn't do it any different than my buddy. I'm not going to say his name because, like I said, he may not want me to say his name on here. But he's a maverick and he lives off the grid. Rick knows who he is, and I'm going to go that route. Why not? buy some land, do what I want with my own land, hunt, fish, do what I got to do, scrape the ground for gold because where I'm going, there's going to be gold in them hills, or diamonds. If you go to Matheson, Ontario, Black Diamond, or what's it called, Black Water, and not the military outfit, but there's a place called Black Water up there. They found diamonds, a diamond mill. Now they're not your De Beers diamonds for your rings and stuff, but they're diamonds for cutting material like steel and everything else, right? So we have a lot of precious metals still up in northern Ontario. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe and like. I'm gonna do some crazy stuff on here soon enough. If I don't start getting more views, I'm gonna cut fingers off one at a time. That'll go viral. From London? Yeah, I'm down the other way. Windsor. We're not far. But at 52, I'm still strong as a bull. I think like an ox sometimes. If you ask my wife, she'll tell you I think like an ox. Thank God for her. She keeps me at a point, leveling point anyways, right? I'm on discard, and I'm off a discard now for a minute anyways, but I got to keep her cool. But she'll go anywhere where I want to go, right? She's open to it. So the north does sound nice to me, really nice. Live off the grid. I'll go do YouTube and I'll show you guys how to build a beautiful log cabin. Really beautiful log cabin. I'm not talking to some little shit box. I'm going to cut down some trees and do this and that. No, I'm going to build a rightful log cabin, probably a 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom log cabin on the water somewhere. And I'll YouTube it all. I'll show you how it's done. I got friends of mine with mills, sawmills, portables. You can just trailer hitch it in, cut your material, do what you got to do, scrape the land. Got all the machines up there already. How do you like apples? I did find some peaches. Indeed, this is no lie. I was driving home from the county in the summertime, and I stopped at this vegetable stand and fruits on the way home because, you know, I want to support the small person out there, right? And you got these peaches, and they're not your Georgian type of peach. They were a white peach. And I ate one. I bought 7 or 8 of them. And they were about $1 a piece. And I was eating them on the way home, and I was like, these are the best peaches I've ever had in my life. I saved the seeds. I'm going to grow them. And ask the, I'm not violent here with this. This is for my apple, by the way. If you're just tuning in now. But I'm going to grow those peaches because those peaches were the best peaches I've ever had in my life. Hey, Kitty, what's happening? I can hardly read the comments on here because I don't have the computer on where I'm at right now. At work, we had the power go out, so the whole company went out for about an hour and a half in the dark. So I had to get the computers going on the shop floor. And it's not my business in the office to get my computer going here because I don't seldom even come in here. In my eyes, this is where the creeps play. I don't sit in the office. I get on the shop floor, I get dirty. See some of the comments here. When am I coming to visit Alberta? See, railroad. Anasty was asking about you yesterday. Thought you'd be in Windsor. I said, no, she lives in Alberta. Northern Alberta. When am I coming to Alberta? With the way the economy is right now, it's tough to even go to the corner store. Never mind Alberta. This is what? Yeah, this is the after hours, Rick. I need a haircut. Look at that. Look at that bush. I'll fit all right up in the woods. But I still got all my hair. Like I said, I got those puppies right there. I got a strong backbone. My feet work good. My legs don't fail me. And my mouth is always running, even when I'm eating an apple. Rick Show, it is what it is. I don't know Lori at all, or that Khalib, but I'm not for communism, like I said. You know, you'll own nothing and you'll like it. That sounds like communism to me, right? That's what I make of communism. They'll come and take everything and redistribute it. The redistribution program, that's what they're about, communism, right? So you can try and win me over, it's not going to work. No, I'm not disagreeing with Lori. I don't like Stalin. Look at the Russian history with Stalin. I think he killed Lenin, didn't he? They were both, they were street partners once upon a time, buddies, best friends. Cappuccino. I get it for free. We got a coffee machine here in the shop, and it's got 30 different coffees and cafes and shots, energy shots. You can go in there and get one anytime you want for free. Because if you look at the average person, what they spend, okay, on coffee per day, let's say you drink a coffee a day, there's 365 days in a year, you're spending just one coffee a day. I think it went up to 250 a coffee, right? You're spending $700-800 a year just on coffee, folks. Now, what's that say? Who's the liar? Or I can't even read that. I'm going to go back and read these later. If it was on the workshop floor, I'd be able to read the computer and see. But keep commenting, like it, subscribe, get the membership up there. So like I said, I'm going to be doing some wild stuff on here soon. Because I'm wild. I am that mouth of the South, the man without a plan, the master of all the disasters for fun. We haven't even seen the disaster parts happening yet. So I get to keep it open. RV suggested go live. I'm going live. It's my lunch. Who takes a lunch at 9:45? I do. Sometimes I don't even have a lunch. I get so busy that I don't stop to think, hey, I got to eat something. It's lunchtime. I bring a lunch every day, or I work in a part of town where everything's right here. I got McDonald's, Burger King, Harvey's. I got them all right here on the strip. Not even 15 seconds from my shop, right? So I seldom go to those places. I try not to, anyways. It's much calmer in here, where we could hang out. Thank you. Even with a knife in my hand, it's much calmer in here. But if you're just tuning in now, the knife is for this, by the way. My apple. I'll tell you a story. This is a true story. I was in jail 2005 for weed. And this guy got knuckled out on the range. And for some reason, the cameras never work when they want to work in that place, because they would have seen the action and what happened. I had nothing to do with it, but they blame me for it. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say, that guy did it over there, because I'm not a rat. Okay, so I just took it, whatever. They took me to the hole for 7 days, and they call it solitary confinement. Okay, 7 days. And when I got out, they put me back on the range, and everybody's like, well, man, that was a pretty solid thing. So I'm not a rat, but I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. There's 32 people on the range where I was, and we all got an apple a day. So I said, everybody's going to up their apple on this range. I don't give a shit if you were involved or not, okay? And I want your apples. So I took everybody's apples for 2 days. I had 64 apples in my cell. So I ate apples like a horse. Did lots of push-ups, lots of sit-ups. I said, if I got to go away for 7 days, I'm getting everybody's apples for 2 days. And that's what I got. I got the apples. Because even when you see shit, you keep your mouth shut. Deal with it yourself, okay? Or keep your mouth shut. And you'll get a lot more respect at the end of the day. You keep your mouth shut. Apples, I love apples, man. I do. And I came out, I was, most people, they come out less weight than they went in because they don't feed you very well. I went in at about 165, it came out at 215. I ate pretty good. Because you keep your mouth shut. 100% true story, brother. So a friend of mine, his son or his grandson, won the Canadian Championships, 65 kilogram or 68 kilogram weight class yesterday. The Canadian Championships in Quebec. So now he's on Team Canada, and he contacted me and congratulated him, right? And I told him, I said, next year at this time is well, now that he's on Team Canada, it's an Olympic trial run, right? So the Olympics are 2024 in Paris. And the kid's going to be on that team. If he wins the Canadians again next year at this time, he's automatically on Team Canada. He will be in the Olympics. You'll see him. You'll see him in the news. That's a fact. You'll see him on the big screen. I'm going to get an interview with him. I'm going to get an interview with the Laramie brothers that are in the UFC because they're local and they love Uncle Leo. That's what they call me, Uncle Leo. And he's had 2 fights in the UFC already, and they're doing good, really good. I'll get an interview on their accomplishments. And they're 2 brothers that watched them grow up. I actually helped train them for stand-up boxing when they were 13 and 14 years old. And I just knew, I was telling the head coaches, these kids are special. They're really, really, really special. If you seen them go, they're having fun. It wasn't a business for them, right? It was fun. I said, that's, as long as the fun's there, as they're competing in the mixed martial arts, these kids are going to go to the top, man. And I'm telling you, they're going to go to the top. Peaches. D wants some peaches. I'm going to grow some peaches. I grow the best damn peaches anybody's ever tasted before. So I'm glad Rick Show got away from the convoy crap. Because I'm getting really fucking sick of it. Really, I am. It's driving me crazy. I don't know about you guys. You know, people are going to do what people are going to do. Nothing we could do about it. And even if I seen shit, I wouldn't say shit. The reason they got the injunction at the bridge, partly the excuse came from me. Because the Associated Press did an interview. And in that interview, I stated, they said, you think it's going to end? I said, some people are willing to die for freedom on the bridge. So they use that phrase out of the whole interview I did, and that's what the mayor of Windsor used to get the injunction. We don't want to see people dying in the streets and this and that. So that's how he got the injunction. He used that phrase that I put out there, but I was 100% right. People were willing to die. Now, needless to say, not once did the government, the police, or the municipal government even try to intervene on the bridge and say, hey, everybody disperse. They could have used fines, they could have used this, they could have used that. There's other measures they could have used without even going to the injunction. And they didn't even try. They didn't even go on the road. They didn't tell anybody get off the road. More or less, they invited people in. And I got it all on video. Right? So it's sad. And they're going to use it against people. There's still a number of court cases. There was one today against a police officer in Windsor that supported the convoy financially. And he lost his job. I don't know the outcome of that case, but I will find out. So he stood up today. There's a bunch of people that came to the courthouse today. I wasn't one of them, but that sat there in support of that police officer that did financially GoFundMe, however he did it, right? Because he could see the fascism that's going on in the country right now as we speak. It's only getting worse too. Now, it would have been fitting if I had my ski mask on, my knife, eating an apple. That would have been Canadian. Fix my makeup. Done with that. So I got another 7 minutes on this live. What do you guys want to talk about tonight? The wine is good. Not wine. Like, oh, brown wine. But those are wine cups. You could use that for wine. What do I think that'll get the country on track? A new drug. I want a new drug. What do I think will get the country on track? A fair and honest election. That'll get it on track. That's the only way it's going to get on track. You know, get rid of what we have now. Not tear it down, not burn it down. Don't hang anybody. Don't kill anybody. Don't harm anybody. We got to get to the polls. Now, the more pressure you put on your government, okay, our government, okay, the faster we'll get to the polls. You got to let the NDP know how you feel. The Liberals already know how we feel, so you're preaching to the choir on that side. Let your Conservatives and the PPC know, okay, yeah, and drain the swamp that way, okay? You're going to drain it that way. That's the only way you're going to do it. Anybody that thinks they're going to use force to overthrow a government, okay, or make a government do this and that, it's not going to work, my friends. It's been tried. Look at the FLQ. Like Rick said, Oka, Ipperwash, right? I believe that. It's been tried. It won't work. Canada RV, you're right. It won't work. Okay. The only way is to peacefully have a democratic vote. Okay. I know it sounds weird when you do that. What was it? The sign the letters online. What's that called? Somebody help me out here. I did it once. Not doing it again. You can sign all the letters you want online. They go in one ear and out the other. I don't even think anybody even reads them anymore, right? You get 1 million people. If you get 1 million people, you could have a royal commission into the corruption and call for but you got to have 1 million people. Yeah, it's a petition, but there's a word for it, for that petition. .org. I think it's .org, right? But if you could get 1 million people, you can't have a royal commission. You could call a royal commission on the corruption aspect of the Trudeau government, because there's a lot of money that's flying around that should never have flown around the way that it flew around. And when somebody's net worth goes from $10 million, and that's what his foundation was worth when he started politics, and in 7 years go to 350 million. Now there's conflicts of interests. That's part of the corruption, right? You can look at it that way, but it's called the Royal Commission. What is it, 200 million? Yeah, I heard it was 350 million, but who knows, right? You know, when you got these guys sitting on the board of committees for everything that they, as chairs, and, you know, they can make a monopoly and say, Leo's the only one that could sell apples in the country. Where do you think their stocks are going to go? They're going to go into Leo's business. And that's how they make money, right? Lobbyists, they're dirtballs. Lobbyists and lobbying is a dirty way of doing it. And they do it that way too, right? Yep. The government system works if it's run honest. And that's the thing, is finding the honesty. You know, I don't know if Pierre Poilievre's honest. I know Jagmeet Singh's not honest, and I know that Pierre Elliott, fuck, his dad, he wasn't honest, and neither is his son, right? So we got to do the right thing and just keep adding pressure, non-violent, peaceful pressure, any way you can, okay, on the government. And you look at the memes on social media, the balloon blowing up, and all of a sudden there's the fuck you balloon. That was the best one I've seen yet. Yeah, hold the line, for sure. See, people get upset, especially in government, when you say the word protest. Okay, even though under our Charter of Rights, but when you say the word civil disobedience, okay, that's a big word. Civil disobedience. That can mean many things, right? So apply pressure peacefully. Let them know how you really feel. I think they already know how we really feel, a lot of us, right? So, like I said, I've gotten the jab twice, right? So this was never about the jab for me, okay? It was about the freedom of choice, the freedom to choose. When they start stuffing shit down your throat, right? And that's what they do. That's what the government does. And making it mandatory and taking away your rights to move, your rights to protest. You know, when you have no freedom of speech, what do you have? You have this, the blank paper, hold it up, be silent, whatever works. You know, when the government calls you names and they don't want to hear from the people, then let the people speak or even meet with the people. Okay, that's not good government. That's shitty government. I'm not about any shitty government. So you got to get him out. Choosy from Jersey, he's down here. So you got to get him out any way that we can. Without violence, period, okay? So there's other ways to do it, like I just said. There's that Royal Commission, and that might push him out, because with a Royal Commission, it's not like the inquiry. They go more in depth, okay, of the what's going on. And it is what it is, right? So I don't trust, especially the liberal judges. You know, these guys are hired in the Senate. They're appointed. Okay, they're appointed, and they're appointed for life. So, you know, everybody would like a Senate job. And that's where half these people will go, right? The other half will, you know, they become ambassadors to Canada for certain countries, right? So don't believe the hype. I don't believe in violence, okay, unless it's in my face, and I got no other option but to use violence. I don't get down and dirty if I have to, right? That's me. Then that's just the way that I roll. Like I said, 52 years old, look at these puppies. I ain't going anywhere. And I should never have to, neither should you. You see a lot of expatriates moving here and there, just getting out of the country. Well, You lost the battle because you left. So you can't come back and say, yeah, Canada's great now. I helped change the ways of Canada. You did nothing. You ran with your tail between your legs. So I'm not going out like that. But the government is dirty. We see, right? And there's a good thing too that happened. I seen in the news that it's going to be illegal for the RCMP to use those special bullets in a certain type of tear gas, which never made sense to me. We're in a scamdemic. Remember the height of COVID, and they came out in Ottawa and used gas. That's good for your lungs. And they came out and they pepper sprayed people in the face, and that's really good for your lungs, I'll tell you. So I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with the current government, but will I be happy with the next government? That's the question, and that's the question everybody should be asking themselves. I don't know if it was rubber bullets. I think they were called foam bullets or something. So I'm not happy. I know everybody in the Maverick group. You can't be happy with them, with the Liberals. Look what they've done, right? They've done nothing. They've tore down Canada, and then they're trying to blame it on the people that are protesting, calling them names, calling us rapists. Not cool. Misogynists. Not cool. Terrorists. You don't call your people terrorists and then expect respect. He's demanding respect, and that's where he's going to go wrong, right? So he's going to get all the respect he's going to get, and that's nothing, right? At the end of the day, he deserves to go and go see you later. He deserves a cage. Now, like I said, I'd love to see the next government say, hey, we're looking into corruption on the Liberals. But will that happen? They promise a lot of shit. You know, I'll take you back in time a little bit. 7 years ago, when the Liberals were demanding, who was it? Pamela Wallen and Duffy, I think his name was, and Brazeau, in a scandal, and how the Liberals, we're going to put them in jail, this and that. That sounded really nice because they were scamming. They were conservatives, but they got caught. Okay? And they made that promise that those three were going to go to jail, this and that. I haven't heard shit about Pamela Wallen, Mike Duffy, or Patrick Brazeau. Have you? I haven't. Right? So it is what it is. You know, they make a lot of promises. You know, the conservatives will tell you that they're going to put Justin Trudeau in jail. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. But at the end of the day, I highly doubt that's going to happen. Wishful thinking if it did happen, right? Especially if he's caught in corruption. You know, we had the WE scandal. There's just so many scandals. The S&C Lavalin scandal, the corruption with his deputy prime minister, okay, telling her to shut up, and he ultimately fired her and put a muzzle on her. And there's many scandals. The Abicon. So many scandals. I've lost track of the scandals that are going on here with the government, right? And those are all scandals that could put the average me or you in jail for a very long time. Any one of them. Any one of them. And you know, will they see jail? I highly doubt it. So they make a lot of promises, sort of like the U.S. Hillary's going to jail. Hillary didn't go to jail. We heard it all, right? So don't be fooled, but don't be fooled because an election will be called soon. It has to be. So just keep applying the pressure the way that we are. And at the end of the day, hopefully it's all good. It's all good in the hood. So with that being said, I got to close up. I got to get back to work. I am somewhat responsible. But here, show you the puppies again. 52 years old. There's no slouching. There's no slouching. Bernadette Zelensky, you're in here. You're no relation to that Zelensky in the Ukraine, are you? I always wanted to ask you. Let's see if she responds. Do I punch in, punch out? No. No, 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 no. I'm paid even if I'm not here. Yeah, that's just the way it rolls for me. I think Bernadette Zelensky's in the group. Did she just say something? Yeah, the only thing that sucks with me is that I have to work till probably 4 or 5 in the morning tonight. I took Friday off, so I got a little bit more energy than I'm supposed to have tonight. So I'm gonna burn it off here, get paid the ski mask way, but without that, do it the right way, the legal way. My trials, my tribulations of my life may be able to help somebody else if they listen to the way that it went down for me, right? So I'm just a product of my environment. You know, you grow up in a house full of alcoholics, the chances of you becoming an alcoholic are high, right? Well, I grew up in a house full of bank robbers, pimps, players, and hustlers on the west side of Windsor, and I was just a product of my environment at the end of the day. Till I grew older and started thinking for myself that hey, there's another way to do this, and by the grace of God, I got to where I am today, guys. With all that being said, I got to roll. Ciao for now. If I can shut this off. How do you shut it off? Somebody help me. Oh, I got to hit that X in the corner, right?